For this skirmish, I'm gonna learn a little bit more about the salvage general doing a free-for-all. Kinda interested to see how the artificial intelligence reacts in a free-for-all environment. Haven't really experimented with that yet. It may be difficult or it may be very easy. Probably easy considering I'm going to be the salvage general on this one. I've already taken this general for a spin a couple of times, and one thing I learned is that he has a really fucking awesome rushing capability. He has these defensive towers called Hornet's Nest that I'm going to try to get right up in the enemy base. There's really not too much that the enemy can do about them. They're good against infantry and just about everything but air units. Which makes them ideal for a rush, because you can just build a quad cannon to back them up, and they're not going to be really easy to take down with just a handful of units. At that point, it would be more of a job for artillery, but they would need a propaganda center or a strategy center or a palace before then, and they're not going to have one of those by then. At least not if I have things my way.
I'm just a peasant. This is hard work.
I think I'll focus the heaviest amount of defenses on the areas that I'm not sending an attack through. That way I can attack my opponent over here to the right and keep the other areas defended while I do it.
With the building. I am finished with the building. That was a lot of work.
It's going to be fun to see how this plays out. Personally, I don't think the artificial intelligence can cope with this, especially if I start to build more, which, well, within my price range right now. I just want to make sure I don't get my tech tree interrupted because, well, it's just good common sense. You don't want to fall behind on tech in this game. It's a death sentence.
I'm just a peasant.
While I'm happy that rush worked, the palace is what I'm actually after, because with enough muscle I can punch through any defense. It doesn't matter what they have built. Sadly, I won't be able to show everything off. Between all the different generals' points upgrades these generals have, you can't quite get everything on the battlefield, but I'll do my best to show off as much as I can. Unless I kill this dozer, it's going to take about 5 or 10 minutes to kill this command center, so just use these RPG troopers to take it out and try to get some quad cannons up here as quickly as possible. All in all, I'm pretty sure this enemy's about to die.
We will not be oppressed. Prepare to fight. Don't get on my back, sir. I do not have patience for this.
That dozer thinks he can hide. Just you fucking wait. I'm coming.
That was a lot of work. Do not hurt me.
An enemy building has
That
been
was
captured.
a lot of work.
Alright, with the quad cannons here, I'm locked in. He's going to have a hard time defending against this, unless the enemy starts sending in a bunch of artillery or something like that, but that's unlikely. While I appreciate the help, I actually wanted to get all the general's points off this for myself, so I'm going to have to deal with those Humvees.
That was a lot of work.
Don't get on my back, patience for this. Be on watch for the enemy. Yes, yes. Stop them dead in their tracks.
Let's just see where these fucking little toads lead me. Hopefully somewhere that's really vulnerable to quad cannons.
Be on watch for the enemy. Floor. I do not have patience for this. Huh? Punch it. Don't push me.
No, I think I'll move away from the laser cannon, thank you.
Going. I'll get there. Yes, yes. Cut them down. Stop them dead in their tracks.
Oh yeah, those air units are worth a ton of general's points.
Don't push me.
Hopefully they keep building more.
Don't push me. I do not have patience for this. Yes, yes. I do not have patience for this. Quad cannon.
Ah, shit, I could have done that better, but I did make out with a pretty sweet amount of general's points, and for the cost, I lost less than they did. So that's a victory. Just a really sloppy one.
cost
I'll
is too
sponsor
great.
the next thing that moves.
We must take what is ours. Let's fight.
With most of my neighbors' weekend, now's a good time to hulk out and just get a bunch of units mass-produced and tech up all my shit and get my economy booming. As Salvage General, maintaining a really strong economy is important because there's a General's Point upgrade that allows you to just buy scrap for your units, so if you want level 3 Marauders, you can just have level 3 Marauders if you got the money, which is insanely fucking useful. Other than the expense and the really super fucking powerful units, he plays the same as any other GLA general. The scrapyard, your black market, he has kind of a nuclear weapon instead of a scud storm. It's all pretty much what you would expect. It's basically GLA with more powerful defenses and real artillery and real heavy tanks instead of just the lightweight stuff and having to depend on the Marauder to scrap up to be a heavy tank. He also has an airfield, but I'm probably not going to use it because it's more useful on large open maps. On small maps like this, the planes just get the shit shot out of them by, well, mostly level defenses, but yeah, the planes are more anti-infantry or anti-scout, you know. You send them out to take out a undefended area or something that doesn't have very much defense, or, you know, a couple infantry that are in the way, or maybe just help make your attack a little bit more varied so the anti-air's not firing at your tanks and your infantry is just shooting up in there at the desert flies and all that. The air units are pretty good, but they're basically the technicals of the sky. They're really good in theory, but you don't want to use them for everything. Especially not on a well-defended base. They're just gonna die. Then again, I haven't tried building a whole shitload of them. Maybe if you build like 100 or 200 of them and swarm a base, it might be really effective, but oh, that's just fucking expensive. Might have to try it someday, though. That does sound kind of fun. Though, in my experience, when I try to think of doing something fun that takes a whole lot of units, it usually results in the game just crashing, so I think I'll skip that for now and give it a test run, make sure it doesn't crash the game.
If that is what you want.
For this match, I'm just going to do things the old-fashioned way. Get some heavy tanks up, get a nice force gathered, get my scrapyards up so my economy doesn't suck, build a super weapon, then attack. I already have a head start from taking out that China opponent, so right now I'm sitting pretty. I got all those resources gathering, I got my tech building up. Not much attacking me either, so yeah, this is working out pretty nice. Kind of thought it'd be a little bit more hectic for a free-for-all, but I don't know, maybe I'll see a huge horde cut my way soon. Maybe somebody has a whole bunch of generals points built up or something. But if things continue as they are, I'm going to have a really fucking tough horse to beat in a couple of minutes. Still haven't seen a one-on-one fight between a Basilisk tank and an Overlord tank. Kind of excited to see if I can't get that going here, because I think without upgrades, the Basilisk will win, but if it's a rank 3 Overlord and say it has a propaganda tower or something, it's no contest. Or maybe like an Overlord with a full bunker. That's going to be kind of hard for the Basilisk to deal with. Those giant Basilisk tanks are really strong, but they fire really slowly, and the machine gun on them is only really good for taking out infantry, and even then it's really slow at doing that. Still, even if a Basilisk can take on an Overlord, I'd still say the Overlord's the better tank, just because it can also take on air units, and it's not really particularly weak to anything except maybe a Jarman Kell, but so is a Basilisk, right? In fact, you could send one helicopter against a Basilisk, and it's not going to have any kind of chance at all since it has no real anti-air, just a little puny machine gun on it. But with the proper backup, they're pretty fucking fierce because they're going to take a whole lot of health from your tanks from a single shot.
What do you want?
The Basilisks are also hard to deal with because they have a whole lot of armor. They can run up to a bunker or any kind of other garrison, and they can survive long enough to get a couple of shots off, so you don't want to avoid targeting the Basilisk because the main cannon's so strong, but if you target the Basilisk, then all those little tiny GLA units are going to keep firing on you, so it does put you in a little bit of a predicament if you're going to have to, say, fight a Basilisk with a bunch of rocket buggies behind it. That being said, they stand basically no chance against artillery. I mean, they'll take a couple of hits, but unless they're actively running away, they're not going to stand much of a chance. They may not even be able to approach the artillery since they're so huge. They're going to take damage as they move. It's Not the ideal opponent for any of the heavy tanks in this game, but especially not the Basilisk. So, knowing how important artillery is, I'm gonna build a few artillery units for the next attack, just in case this first one doesn't work out. I think the units that I have right now will work fine, but, you never know. They could have some really kick-ass defenses, or maybe just a whole shitload of units that I can't quite take out, so no reason not to prepare for a more diverse second attack if I have to attack more than once. Kinda hoping I run into just some huge fucking death machine. That would be nice for a change. Might have to amp up the difficulty and do some 2v1, maybe higher, just to get a little bit more of a challenge out of this.
Built it myself. It all works. I'll take a piece of you. There won't be no doubt.
That's a nice chunk of XP. Just a few more kills and I'll be able to get Cash Bounty, which is still the most important GLA General's power, by far. Gotta love that junk repair, too. It's a damn good power-up. Don't have to manage any propaganda towers or build any extra drones. Just cheap and free repairs. Oh, shit, never mind. I'm level 3. I'll go and get my Cash Bounty going, and you know what? It's really annoying there isn't just a little number or something at the bottom of the corner of the screen or something like that. I really hate that I have to open up the menu just to figure it out or keep it in memory. And once that command center goes down, I'll have all the Cash Bounty that I need. I'd bitch about that menu, but that was really my fault for just expecting things to go my way. The AI is predictable, but they can still surprise you once in a while. Looks like his neighbor's coming in for a piece, and you know what? I think I'll let him have a couple of pieces, actually. I'll save a couple of my units, just have my quad cannon tear some shit up out there.
Salvation Army. Built it myself. We are going. New gun.
It's strange. I thought this would make it more difficult, but it's actually making it more convenient because it's like I have a little buddy with me every single time I take one of them out. It's like they sense I'm about to defeat their neighbors, so they come in and help me finish them off, which is oddly more teamwork than I get in a team game.
Let's kick up some dirt.
Salvation Army.
It's a pretty good feeling to be able to shut down an overlord like that without having to resort to suicide units as GLA. Just boom, boom, 2 shots, it's done.
We are going.
Yeah, my work's done here. I could take these units to take out the base to the north, but I think I should get them together with my artillery and all my other units and just make one massive horde and wipe out everything. Mostly just to give them a chance to survive, because I think the game's basically over at this point if I start marching through all the bases like this, and I'm not quite ready to end it. I at least want to see the super weapon go off. And, you know, not just attacking 2 or 3 units that are left over, like, you know, hitting a base. That's what you want to see. That's what I want to see. Hopefully I can get a whole bunch of units just packed in one little condensed area. That's always the best kind. Especially in this mod, since nuclear bombs and everything else kind of work like MOABs and just send shit flying all over the place. Huge fan of that. The new blood effects are a nice touch too, because, well, if you get killed by a fucking chain gun, you're gonna bleed a little bit, so, you know, it's a nice little detail that should have been in the first game, I think.
Where shall we strike?
Then again, they probably had to leave it out so it wouldn't get an M rating. I forgot, is this game rated teen or M? I don't even remember this game having ESRP rating. Maybe it wasn't rated. I kind of doubt that, though. I'll have to look that up later. My guess would be teen, though, because even though you're killing thousands of soldiers with nuclear bombs, radiation, toxin, bullet shells, nobody swears and nobody bleeds. So, probably got a teen rating just for that. Not that this game really needs any hyper-violence or anything. I mean, you're killing a whole bunch of people, so it's pretty fucking gruesome as it is, even without the blood, unless you're just completely fucking mental and that shit doesn't register in your head. At least on a scale of morality, Mortal Kombat's less violent than this game, no matter how much blood's in it. You know, in Mortal Kombat, you kill like maybe 10 people on a combat ladder, but here you're gonna kill at least a couple hundred people every match. Or at least send them to their deaths, depending on how good you are at the game. Sending a couple hundred troops to die just to make the war go by more quickly isn't exactly ethical either.
We are going.
At least in Mortal Kombat, it's just two people settling it out through violence and not, you know, huge armies massacring each other with nuclear weapons and toxins. The Germans had a great solution for that, though. In the German game, they're all cyborgs, and the terrorists are just huge barrels full of TNT on wheels, which is hilarious. But, like I said, that's another video for another time. I'll have to try to find a way to get the German version and play that sometime. Still baffles me that you can kill like hundreds of soldiers and still get a teen rating. Unless I'm wrong and this is rated M, but I really don't think it is. This was made back during a time that the ESRB was mostly concerned whether or not people were having sex or saying fuck or shit. So basically no different than from today, except they're just a little bit lighter on the violence. You could, you know, cut somebody's head off and they might still give you a teen rating if you did it in a really funny way, you know. Like if you had a mime cut a clown's head off with an invisible chainsaw. That might fetch you a teen rating back then. But today you'd get like rated adult only because of the whole clown thing, you know, it's a little bit of a racial issue there. Clowns just aren't as funny since the KKK started lynching them. So what do you think the odds are of me losing this fight here? I'm thinking not very high.
Salvation Army. Hang on. Got any spare parts?
Might as well split up the hordes. There's just a few too many tanks to send down one area. And it'll just be a waste of time if I do it like that.
Hang on. Got any spare parts? We are going. Built it myself.
There are no more supplies.
Well, they're fucked. No way they're defending against that unless they have some kind of huge horde that I'm not seeing, but kinda doubting that's gonna happen.
Got any spare parts? Salvation Army. Built it myself. New gun for me. We are going. Let's do some body work.
This base is spread out all over the place. That's kind of odd for an AI opponent to do that. He must have been trying to reach out for the center. I'm sure they're all fighting over the center. That's probably why they all died and have, like, no resources or anything. Probably lost a lot of money fighting each other over there. Well, that's kind of interesting, though. I was kind of hoping for a big mega base or something, but, well, just not here. Maybe the next opponent will be tougher.
Salvation Army. They can be recycled. Hang on! Salvation Army. We are going. We are going. We'll break him down. Build it myself.
Really liking the GLA's basic artillery. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it fires quickly and moves well with the horde, so it's nice to mix it in with a bunch of units. It doesn't get in the way, and it actually gets shit done. If you try to mix a bunch of large artillery up with the horde, you'll run into pathing issues, and, you know, they'll fire really slowly, so by the time they actually shoot your units, you'll already have the unit or building destroyed, and they can't really hit units on the run very well, so I'm appreciating these little light, quick artillery. I wouldn't try to use them as a replacement for the super long-range artillery or, you know, try to use them by themselves, but mix them up with some quad cannons and some tanks, and you got a pretty good attack force right there. Now it's time to find out who's alive and who's dead. Pretty sure the opponent I just kicked the shit out's gonna die pretty soon if they haven't already. I think that was their last dozer. I really need to go after Red right now. I'm pretty sure that's the only opponent that's actually left right now. At least one that could actually fight back. Might blind fire one of my general's powers at one of the other places to make sure nobody else built another base at one of the bases that I destroyed. You never know. The AI can be really tenacious. They just don't give a fuck about winning or losing. They'll waste every single second of your life that they can if they think that they can build up and fight you and take out a couple of more units. Though I understand why players aren't like that. If you sat through every single match that you obviously lost and you know, let the enemy beat you every single time, you wouldn't have enough time to play more than 1 or 2 matches a day. It would take, like, you know, 3 or 4 hours just to get through a couple of matches. Just be nonsense. But personally, I don't quit against human players unless I have to. I like to give them the satisfaction of blowing up my base if I fucked up, because, I don't know, it just feels like it's fair sport. You know, it's part of the fun of Command & Conquer, is blowing up the enemy base. If you don't get to do that, it's kind of like taking the cherry off the sundae. Also kind of makes you look like a bitch for being so worried about winning or losing instead of just having fun. But that's just my opinion.
Where shall we strike?
Well, nothing there. That was kind of a waste.
Built it myself. Got any spare parts?
What is it?
Salvation Army. Built it myself. New gun for me. Got any spare parts? Salvation Army.
Only one more place he could be. Time to finish him off.
Launching nuclear missile.
Built it myself. Got any spare parts? Built it myself.
Ah, damn it. I attracted his tanks. I was kind of hoping to nuke them all, but, oh, I guess a tank fight's just as fun. You know what? I take it back. That was pretty fucking badass. Those fucking tank parts almost hit the fucking screen. That was awesome. And we have to play a salvage general again and do a harder challenge and just try to blow up as many fucking tanks as I can with that. I gotta say, I'm liking Salvage General the most out of all the extra ones, although I'm a bit biased since GLA's my favorite faction. He's got a damn good variety of units, and that super weapon's just fucking fun. I mean, I know it's just a green nuke, but the way it launches everything, and I just fucking love it.
You are victorious.
Oh, well that's not good. Looks like I'll probably have to reinstall Shockwave. It's probably my antivirus fucking with the game again. You know, the biggest problem I've had with this game is that antivirus just fucking hates it. It thinks it's attacking 0 Hour or something like that. Swap between like 3 different antivirus programs, and they all tend to pick on Shockwave and pick certain files out to quarantine because they think that they're threats, and that's fucking agitating. Although with the solid-state hard drive, it only takes about 5 minutes to reinstall or so. It's still a huge pain. I don't think I'd be able to play this game if I had to constantly uninstall and reinstall and do all that bullshit. Luckily, I think it's just an antivirus program, so I'll find what the fuck it quarantined and just let it loose and hope it's not an actual virus, because that would really fucking suck if that was the case. Anyhow, that's all I got for now. Sorry it was such an easy match. Next time I'll do a 2 versus 1 or something a little bit more challenging. I was honestly expecting a whole lot more out of free-for-all, but I just didn't get it. Still, it was an interesting match, and I learned a bit about salvage, so next time I'll take salvage out and do something a little bit more difficult. Anyhow, that's all for now, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.